Yes. Hey everyone, I'm here with Whitney Handy. She is one of San Diego's top age groupers. She's usually on the podium in all the races that she participates in. And I'm so excited to have her, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So, you just finished out a hard workout this morning. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did?
It's called the Wednesday ride that I do with a couple of the guys from Breakaway Training. And it's an interval ride over kind of like San Diego-ish area. I think I get dropped, so I don't really know where we go. I just have my head down trying to follow. And then we did a 90-minute run afterwards.
Wow. Now, is that typical of being in endurance sports that you would do something like that, or is that specific for your training for upcoming Kona?
I think it's more, I don't know. I mean, it's a good workout. But since it is on a Wednesday, it's kind of like I'm doing it for Kona. I need like the extra mileage on the bike and the run. I don't know. I hope I don't have to do this after Kona. I'm not sure.
So, how did you become? I know you're a swimmer by nature, but how did you get involved in triathlons? How did you first wanted to do it, or what was your inspiration?
I was studying abroad in Guadalajara after my freshman year at college, and my friend from home was always like, "Oh, we should do a triathlon." I'm like, "Yeah, like, whatever." And I realized that she signed me up for a sprint in New Jersey, and so I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like I need to start training for this." So every day after the classes in Mexico, I'd run the 12 laps around the track to make sure I could actually run 3 miles. And I'm like, well, like sitting on a bike, like I'm sitting down, so I mean, I hope I'll be able to do it. And then I knew I'd be able to swim the 500 just because of my swimming background. And so I finished that race, and I absolutely loved it. And I got my roommate from San Diego to sign up for Mission Bay, and we did Mission Bay and loved it. And then I talked to Chris Berg, so I knew him from high school back in New Jersey, and he's the one who told me about Felipe and breakaway training, and that's how I started.
Oh, so
here,
now
yeah.
you're totally hooked onto it.
Yes.
All right. So you're involved with GOTRIbal, which is an organization created by women for women. So, how do you feel about that? You're going to be on the athletes panel for the upcoming conference, talking to other, athletes, other newbies, new moms, or thinking about coming into the endurance sports or doing the first triathlons. What do you think about that?
I'm super excited about it because I think that women in the sport need a support system or just friends and training partners, people that they can rely on while they're training, because especially if you don't have a background in any type of athletics, because if you're training for a triathlon, it kind of takes over your life a lot of the time, and then you get to a point where you're just, you feel like everything's falling apart sometimes, and just having the people like the backbone, it helps so much. And I train with a lot of guys, and they don't always understand, and I think that women kind of understand something about training that maybe guys don't always understand. So I'm excited to be, maybe helpful to someone.
I think you definitely will be helpful.
Like helpful and like influential. So I think it's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to the conference.
Awesome. One of the things, you are a young athlete. You just finished college. You have a college degree. You're working. You're training, and you have this life in front of you. Your friends are hanging out. They're going out and doing things. But sometimes you have to make choices of what you're going to do, like on a Friday night or a Saturday night. If you have one thing that you wanted to say to a young gal that's thinking about doing a triathlon or getting into an endurance sport, what one little bit of advice could you give them?
I think that the people coming into the sport need to know about the commitment, like the time commitment that it takes. A lot of people come into the sport and are like, oh, I want to go to Kona, or I want to win this race or that race, but then don't have any like training background or like commitment to it. And so I think coming into the sport, you need to know that you need to give up some things in order to train, but like have fun with it, make the training fun, have fun training partners, or do like fun workouts. Like we take the train up to Anaheim and ride back, and then we know that there's pizza port at the end of that, so that's always a good like incentive. And then if they're like just starting out with triathlons, that to not be afraid to make mistakes, to know that every race is not going to be perfect, that you're going to realize that you screwed something up like one way or another. Like in St. George, I realized halfway through the bike that I had not been taking any salt baths.
Wow.
Like the 5 hours into the race, I'm like, oh great. But you know, you make mistakes, you need to learn from it, and so they need to know that you screw up, it's fine.
It's okay.
You can get over it.
Well, that's definitely a lot of great advice there. So for you guys that are coming out to the conference, like I said, Whitney's going to be on our athletes panel, and she's going to have a lot more great stories, a lot more advice that she's going to give out. And if you happen to be in San Diego on September 25th, we're actually going to have a meetup with Whitney, so you can actually have an up-close and personal talk with her. So, Whitney, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.